No, you know, risk of sounding like a prima donna, I just can't work like this.
These beam lifts are amazing. They do come with one little flaw. So we've got the mag drill set up. All we need to do now is just drill these holes. There's no point in rushing with stuff like this, because if you do rush and you have an accident, this could be a life-changing thing that happens to you, and you don't want that. Right then guys, so we've got our steel in position where it needs to be. You can see that we've had to make a bit of a platform here because we have still got our concrete slab in there, that little bit that we need to keep in, because if you remember there's a well under here which has now been massively filled with concrete, but we've still got it there because all our props and everything are on it. So what we've had to do is basically raise this up and give us a nice platform for our beam lift to go on to. So we've just muscled our steel around and got that in. We've had a quick measure, and looking at it all being well, we should have a 10mm gap between the end of our steel here and where it meets the wall up here. We did have to sort of, I don't want to say guess, estimate where that steel landed here, because obviously everything was all still built, so it was a bit tricky to actually figure out exactly where it's going to go, and we couldn't wait until we got to this stage before we ordered the steel, as otherwise we'd be waiting a lot longer to get everything in. We've hopefully got about a 10mm tolerance on that side to get this up and in, so we should be fine. We're just going to get the beam lift set up now, get it on here, then we can get the steel onto it and then get it up and in place. Right then, so even though, should I say, these beam lifts are amazing, they do come with one little flaw in that that is as far down as it goes. So the traditional Genie lift, you'd literally drop it right the way down, you could just slide it up, a small lift straight onto it, and that's it. But with these, because of the way that you work with this thread system in here, it can only go down that far. So what we're having to do, we've had to basically lift it up onto the feet and then strap it onto the bottom of here. Then we can jack it up to a certain height, which is going to be higher than this effectively, and then we're going to get some trestles underneath here so that the steel can sit on the trestles. We can then unhook it, and then we can drop the beam lift back down and then slide it underneath again and then sit the steel straight into the cradle. If it was a bit of a smaller steel, we could probably just lift it up and put it on ourselves, but we need to do it because this is a heavy boy and we don't want this to be falling on one of us, so that is the best way to do it. Just in gentle stages, take it nice and easy. There's no point in rushing with stuff like this, because if you do rush and you have an accident, this could be sort of a life-changing thing that happens to you, and you don't want that. So yeah, that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to get something set up so we can get this lifted up and sat on it, get it on there, and then get it up and in place. So then guys, you just seen we got the steel up and in, we got this end bolted on, and then we've marked this end because, as I've mentioned before, we need to drill these holes in the steel. So what we've done is we've basically flipped the steel over, so what's the top now is actually the bottom. So we've got the mag drill set up, and these are our markings for our holes. All we need to do now is just drill these holes. We can flip it back over, get it up, and then it will be lined up with these holes here. We can get that bolted in nice and tight, and then this one is in, good to go. Alex is just working away over there now to get the pad stone in. Then once that's in there, so tomorrow we'll be able to basically get that other steel on as well, and hopefully this one in as well. Right, let's do it. So that's it, our holes are now drilled, looking good. All we're going to do now is just clean this off nicely. Also get the mag drill cleaned off, because as Pete just mentioned, we've got water all over the magnet and we don't want that to go rusty, so we'll make sure that's nice and dry and clean, and then we can get it on top of this. Beautiful. So that's it, this first section of steel is in. We have got one of the holes here which needs a bit of adjustment. Unfortunately it was drilled in slightly the wrong place. Obviously my mistake, it happens. We are drilling holes on site which have to match up with various bits and bobs, so it is ever so slightly out, but it means we can't get the bolt through. So Pete has got some blacksmith bits which are wide enough just to bore that hole out, so we can just drop our bolt straight through that tomorrow. It has got 3 bolts in it already though, and there's 2 in that side as well, so that's all joined together, nice and safe to be left up there. And also, just so you know, we are bang on level. We're within about a mil probably over that, over the whole length. So can cope with that. Can you cope with that, Pete? Yeah, that's a yes. That's a thumbs up from Pete. It's got Pete's seal of approval. Yes. Right, so I was just getting the pad stone on over there. So then tomorrow we can get this other steel in up there. James has been in here and cut all these joists out here as well, because like I've told you before, 1,000,001 times, another steel coming up here, which will clobble into the back of this. So yeah, we can start getting these notched out. Those joists there are just gonna sit into the webbing of the steel as they are, I think. We need to have a quick look at that and see, but apart from that, that's gonna be about it for now. See you soon. Good morning guys, welcome back to another day on site. So today it's Friday, so that means one thing. Well, it means a few things. Obviously we've got lots of work to do, but also we're having a fry up, Friday fry up. Yes, yes, you know it. If it's Friday where you are, right now when you're watching it, go and have a fry up. Spoil yourself, do it. So we're gonna get some more steels in today. So Alex got the pad stone on up here. So that is all good. We've got a shim on top to make that absolutely perfect. Because we've got a bit of a mission with these joists to get everything in, we've had to make sure that everything's bang on. We're going to have to do a small amount of notching on various joists there and in here as well, just to basically make sure it all fits in the webbing of the steels. Ian is over here just cutting some bricks. A lot of bricks to cut there, mate. Yeah, so basically what he's going to be doing is rebuilding this garden wall. If you remember, we took this down so we could dig the footing easier. So we've done that, and now it's time to rebuild it, because we need to get this wall rebuilt before we can start building our wall up, because obviously we're not going to be able to get to that easily otherwise. There is a lot to do today, so we need to get on with it. Let's do it. Okay, so we've got all our joists notched out here, and we've bedded in our bit of 4x2, like I said, just to give this a bit of extra strength. The bottom of these joists were a bit knackered, so this is why we've had to do it this way, just to give it some extra strength and make sure it's all nice and solid when we get it in the webbing of the steel. So you can see how we've notched it out at the top. So that's going to sit in here like this and just come slightly above, and then everything else will just sit nicely into this webbing here. What we have done in here, Peter's come up with this ingenious solution of basically getting some scaff bars across onto these acros, and then what we've done then is just literally handballed this up, got it straight up there and in and onto there. So now what we're going to do is basically slowly but surely lift this up, get some bricks on the planks, just lift it up, then lift it at the back, and so on, work our way up until we're where we need to be, so we can just slot it on there. Then we can get our plate on the back of here whilst it's in the webbing of the steel, and just shunt it back in, and that'll be all ready for welding. Right, let's do it. Right then guys, we've got all this framework in here, we've got our steel going back there. Next up we need to get this one in. So we've done all the prep work to get all those joists ready, but what we have done, like I said before, we measured all this when the building was still up. So we have measured this one slightly over, so we do need to cut that much off to get it in there, otherwise it's not going to fit. So Pete has very kindly volunteered to do the horrendous cut that is that with that. So let's do it. I'll be on water bottle duty. So then guys, that's it. We've got our steels in. We have realised we've got to do a bit of adjustment over there because we didn't allow for the plate on the bottom. So when we levelled these out, this one here is perfect. That one back there is perfect. But because we took a datum point from here to set that pad stone, and we've got this extra plate on here, on the bottom, this plate here, which we don't have on there, that has then kicked us up. So bit of an oversight, but these things happen and we can get over it. So it will be changed and it will be all gravy, baby. So that is it basically. They're in. Like I say, a bit of adjustment to do there, but we're happy. I've spoken to the welder. He's going to be coming next week to do the relevant welding bits that we need. Then once all that's done, we can then start building it back up, making it safe, get all these needles out of the way, which is always a massive step forward and always a nice thing when you haven't got to worry about knocking into one or anything like that. So that is it, guys. Another week is over. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week. We've had a good week. It's been a good week. That's it, the end of another episode. If you've got any questions about it, chuck them in the comments below and I can answer them in my Q&A sessions that I'm doing. If you're not yet subscribed, which I know a lot of you aren't, why not? Hit the subscribe button, help us get to 100k. We're so close, we need your help. Also, if you're not yet on True Trade, why not? If you're in the construction industry, you need it in your life. Head over to truetrade.co.uk, see what all the fuss is about. I guarantee you'll like it. Take care, guys. See you soon.